What up, though? What's good, everybody? What up? What up? What up? Come on, man. I'm back. I'm back here. I'm back here at UB headquarters. Unnecessary Bluntness Sports Talk headquarters. I'm back. Everybody in the chat, what's good, man? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. What up? What up, though? How y'all feeling? Let me know how you feeling. How it sound off in the chat. Give me a what up, though, in the chat. Let me talk about it, because y'all seen the title, man. Y'all seen the title of this stream. I'm sick. I'm sick, man. I'm sick and tired, man. I'm just sick and tired of this team, man. It's and I don't want to before y'all get into the chat talking about, come on, Dunk, you being too hard. What do you think was gonna happen this season? What did you think? No, man. It's y'all telling me it's about progress. Y'all telling me we building. Y'all telling me it's not overnight, and I understand that. I'm not blind to that. I've been making videos about this team for the last 7 years. I'm not blind to that, man. But my goodness, man, I'm just tired, man. I'm so tired, yo. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. But we're going to get into all that. Y'all sound off in the comments. Drop me a what up, though. Please drop me a what up, though. Just to see who here. Y'all don't mind me. I'm blasting this out on Twitter, going live. All right. It's up on Twitter. What's up, man? J Issue, what's good, man? J47, what up, though? Mr. Luke Cage, what up, though? Nicole, what's up? What up, though? Chilo, what up, though? Brene, what up, though? Josh Shelton, what up, though? One Carolina in the building, what up, though? What's good, brother? Do more good, what up, though? James Mitchell, what up, though? It's y'all, please get a video thumbs up as well. Please get a video thumbs up. As we navigate through this mess, we're gonna talk about everything that happened today, man. But I'm just tired, man. Like, and y'all know where I gotta start. I'm not gonna mess around. I'm gonna get right into it, man. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. This defense, man. Like, once upon a time, bro, we had standards. Once upon a time, people, it meant something. It meant something. Our defense meant something, man. We sent messages. People used to fear our defense, our front four, our front seven. It meant something. It meant something. It just feel like, man, it don't mean nothing no more. It's a joke. Defensively, it's a joke, man. Like, I understand. No Josie Jewell, no J.C. Horn. But y'all keep making these excuses for lack of fundamentals. We see people, we see coverages getting blown. We see people with their hands up, palms to the sky, looking at one another because they thought somebody was going to be in one place, but they not. Dudes screaming middle of the field, wide open. Dudes screaming down the sideline. We got rookies putting up all kind of numbers. We got dudes I never even heard of putting up numbers. Bucky Irving, I told you he's my size. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm 5'8", 195. I'm not ashamed to tell y'all how I'm 5'8", 195. Because clearly We're capable of running for this kind of yards because this I could probably run for 100 today on this team. Bucky Irvin is 5'8", 195, and we got dudes falling off of him. He's looking like prime Marshall Faulk out there. This dude could not be stopped. This is back-to-back games, by the way. Back-to-back games, by the way, that we faced them where Bucky Irving has gone off. We the same size. And he's running like they can't tackle. Nobody makes negative play. We rarely get negative plays in the backfield. The only time we actually have a chance, we tightened up in the red zone twice. But it's just embarrassing. Y'all tell me it's the lack of talent, that we deserve more grace because it's a lack of talent. Tackling is not a talent issue. I think there's a baseline of tackling that you need to have to get to the NFL. You're not working on it in practice. You're not working on pursuit angles. Guys aren't in position. When cutbacks and stuff happen, you try to do things. I understand. The front is not that great. You try to slant your front. When you slant the front, the running backs are going to cut back to the backside. You want to do that intentionally. But the guys aren't there when they need to be, and they're not there to make the plays on the cutbacks. They're not being coached up right. What's going on? 552-yard surrender, another 200-yard rushing game. That's the sixth 200-yard rushing game given up this year. 11th over 150 yards, maybe 12 by this point, my bad. 41 points, 33 first downs, 10 for 14 on third down, 5 touchdown passes surrendered. They scored on 7 out of their 9 drives. And the only reason it wasn't 8 is because they took a knee at the end of the game in the red zone. They had mercy. They could have easily dropped a 50 burger on our head top. This is not going to cut it. We have people talking about running it back and thinking that we're going to get healthy with 1 or 2 players and it's going to make a difference. That's not how defense, it doesn't just, the light bulb doesn't just go off. It hasn't gone off yet. We haven't been able to stop the run for over the last 18 to 24 months. It's not going to magically get better next year. I'm sorry. There needs to be wholesale changes. I'm talking about rethinking everything. I'm tired of this, man. The mid and the mediocre cannot be good enough. This type of stuff cannot be good enough. I think it's time we turn the page, man. I think it's time we turn the page and get a new philosophy or sound or guy calling the shots. Because what we're doing now is not sustainable. It's not promising. It's not encouraging. It's demoralizing. I don't know. How does it feel to come into a game every week? Every week you come into the game knowing you have 0 answers. You're going to have 0 answers for whatever the team across from you is going to do. You don't have any answers. You can't stop the run. If they want to go play action, you're so desperate to stop the run, you're going to fall for it. They're going to go over your top. If they go hard count, you're going to jump into the neutral zone because you don't have a good pass rush, so you're being overeager, you're not disciplined. You try to blitz, but your blitz is not getting home, so your DBs are hung out to dry. Your DBs really can't cover anyway. They're miscommunicating in the back end. They're giving so much cushion that they're giving up hitches underneath. No answers. No answers. And I don't even think, I'm not even going to blame the 3-4 as a whole philosophy because there's plenty of teams in the NFL that run the 3-4 that do it well. The Rams run a modified version of kind of what we run. They're not the best run defense. The Eagles run that Fangio system. They're an elite defense. The Steelers, they run a 3-4. Been doing it for a while. They're an elite defense. So I'm not going to just throw the whole system out of there because the system is not at fault. It's the players and it's the coach. I'm sorry. Tackling is not a talent issue. Communication is not a talent issue. And these have been things that have been happening since the beginning of the season. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Everybody's a block magnet. Nobody's getting off blocks. Nobody's making. When is the last time we really had any negative plays that wasn't because of a blitz? You get a corner blitz by Mike Jackson. You get a sack by Ashawn Robinson, but he hits the guy low. And so it's a penalty on us. This is the worst defense I've ever seen. They gave up 552 yards. So much stuff happened in this game. It felt like the game drug on forever. No identity, no aggression. It feels like we're letting them dictate everything. Like, how much? How much? Like, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. This is year 2. Year 2 of this system, and we aren't seeing progress. There's not hope. There's nothing really to build up on. They're gonna have to revamp everything. The DB room needs to be redone completely. J.C. Horn, he's gonna be around, but we need new safeties. We need another corner. The linebacker room, Josie's okay, but we have no depth there. We have people hurt, and we have no depth clearly. They played okay, but these are rookies that haven't really been around all season. But even then, when we had the starters, Josie gets pushed around. He makes some plays ever so often, but he's still a little bit undersized. He's not over athletic. Up front, we get pushed around like crazy. We get pushed around every which way. It's embarrassing, man. It's really embarrassing, yo. It's embarrassing for me. So I hope they embarrassed being on the field. And it's tough, man. I'm so tired of it, man. Like I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired. It's not good enough, man. It's really not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not. But and I understand the whole thing about complimentary football, because today was really a perfect storm for disaster. Because JC is out, and so you got Caleb Fairley guarding Mike Evans in Big 2024. That man don't deserve that, man. Caleb Fairley done been through a lot, bro. I'm proud of him for making a comeback to the league, battling through the injuries, but he don't deserve to have to play one-on-one with Mike Evans. And I know we ain't had many answers, but they could have put Dane Jackson out there, man. They could have put Dane Jackson at outside corner and put Fairley at nickel. That brother don't deserve that, man. He don't deserve that. He deserved better. that brother was out the league. He don't deserve to have to do that, man. And we done trotted out some bad DBs to try to guard Mike Evans. We done seen C.J. Henderson. We done seen Keith Taylor. Caleb Farley, add him to the list. Add him to the list. Add him to the victim list. Add him to the victim list. Another one. But you guys give the video a thumbs up, please, man. 133 people watching. We only got 36 thumbs up. We need to get that up. We got to get that up. If you want to show some support, you can leave a super chat as well. I'll shout you out. I'll bring a comment up on the screen. We'll talk about what you got to talk about. You also showing support for the independent creator grind, because this stuff is tough. It's tough, man. It's tough being a fan. It's tough making content about this team. I'm so tired, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, man. We got to rethink it. We got to rethink it. We have to rethink it. But I just there's literally no bright spots to pull out defensively, like, of what happened. So I wanted to make sure I talked about it and got it out the way, because there's no bright spots. Anybody got any bright spots? Who got the bright spots? Let me know. if you have any bright spots for what happened on defense today. Let me know. Let me know. Because tackling was optional. Pass rush was optional. Hey, ain't nobody cheating on the squad. I'm a Hawks fan, brother. That's hoops. I ain't no Hornets fan. They're the Charlotte Hornets. They ain't the Carolina Hornets. I'm a South Carolina guy. See, we got to stop once. The Monty Richardson was the bright spot. I mean, he gave us some chunk plays, but he's the only one that can make a one-on-one tackle. I'll say that. But I think it's time that they mutually agree to part. Like, to me, said fourth and fifth stringers got reps as the bright side, I guess. So we forced 2 field goals. That was crazy. I was actually shocked. Goal line stands at that. It looked like a drill. This is the worst defensive performance I've ever seen. 552 yards allowed, and they mailed it in for the last half quarter. Like I said, tackling was optional. Nobody wanted to rush the passer. People didn't want to get off blocks. They were block magnets. 41 points, 33 first downs. 5 touchdown passes surrendered. They gave up 200 yards rushing. They scored on 7 out of their 9 drives, except the one in the red zone at the end of the game where they took a knee to show mercy. This was one of the worst performances I've ever seen in my life. I didn't think it would get any worse than some of these performances we've seen, but it continues to get worse, and I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I think it would be best for both parties just to move on. Ejiro, apparently we're not gonna whatever players that he needs for his system, we either can't find them or we refuse to go get them. So I think a guy that was one of the hotter up-and-coming candidates, he has ruined his stock. I don't think he's a horrible coach, but he's just not the right coach for us. I think he could probably go on, coach somebody else with better personnel, more personnel that aligns with what he wants to do, and do some good things in this league. But it ain't working out here. And I don't see the path to success here. I don't. I really don't. And so it may be best for both parties to mutually shake hands and say, hey, man, we appreciate your services. And Coach Rivera, I appreciate that $3 million per year, Mr. Tepper. But we got to move on. Because we holding each other back. We holding each other back. I think that's what it is. I that's just what it is. I think it's time. I think it's time on defense. We get into these comments. I see both of these. Nervaj, appreciate you on the super chat. Appreciate you. And I see your other one. I'm going to wait till I get to the offense, and I'm going to answer that when we get to that topic. I don't want to jump too far ahead. I'm wrapping up. After I answer your question, we'll get to offense, and then I'll get to your super chat. But I appreciate this one. I'll shout out the next one after that. He asks, if you were GM, what would you do in the offseason to fix the defense? This is a great question. And we'll talk about it more as we turn the page on the current season, but I'll talk about it briefly. To me, this thing is not one or two players away. And I know fans are like, we need to draft all defense. And I don't fully subscribe to that, but I get it. We did it with Matt Rule. A lot of those guys aren't around. If we want to seriously make strides with this defense in a hurry, aka in a hurry as in like the next 2 or 3 years, and try to capitalize on Bryce Young's rookie contract window, we need to spend money. And I'm not saying just do what you did, because a lot of people saying the same way you fix the offensive line, you need to do that for the defense. I don't think it's that simple, because you can't just throw money at things on defense and it just do whatever. You need to get a defensive coordinator in here with a stronger identity that's more aggressive. I don't think that the 3-4 is the worst thing in the world, but I would love to get Robert Saleh in here who runs a 4-3. Now, his defenses don't always stop the run as great as well, but the pass, they're a lot more aggressive. They get a pass rush. They're nasty. And him and Dave Canales have history. Now, there's a guy up at Philly, I can't remember his name. I think he's the run game defensive coordinator or something like that. He has history with Canales from Seattle. If you want to get somebody in here that runs a similar philosophy, that way you don't have to completely change over personnel. You can go get him. A Fangio disciple, I guess who he is. He's under Fangio right now. Maybe he runs that 3-4, multiple style defense. You can bring him in. But I definitely think that they just got to turn the page, man. They got to turn the page philosophically. That's for one. Now, what about the players? I think that you need to get a mix of vets and young players. Because drafting Mason Graham or drafting Abdul Carter or drafting whoever, even if it's Travis Hunter, and I'm a big Travis Hunter fan, one rookie is not going to solve this. Drafting all defense and putting a bunch of rookies out there isn't going to solve it. We did that, put those rookies out there with Phil Snow and them. It didn't help. It didn't help. If we want to be able to turn this defense around quickly, we're going to have to get a mix of vets and young players. We do need building blocks. So you can go get some D-line. Go get some D-line in the draft. Get you some guys. There's some dudes in this class. But I think you need to redo and revamp this whole safety room completely. Fuller, he got to go. Nick Scott, he got to go. Xavier Woods, you've done some things, but I think your time is up too just as well. I don't think he want to be here anymore either. So revamp the whole safety room as well. Get some vets. Spend some money and go get you a solid vet. Javon Holland, he's going to be there. Trevin Moehrig, he's going to be out there. There's some guys out there that you can go pay. At least get one vet safety that can anchor that middle of the field for you. Get some playmakers. Do that. Spend some money on that interior as well. You don't have to draft it if you don't want to. You can get somebody in the draft, but you need to spend something on that interior as well. You have to get stouter up front. You have to get stouter up front. And you have to get you a nickel. We don't have any versatility. We don't have a nickel corner that can cover inside, or we don't have a big nickel that can play the run as well. That's why you see us trying Damani Richardson at nickel, or Caleb Fairley, or Dane Jackson, guys who are playing out of position. You have to get a nickel as well. But you got to get some guys that are hungry, man. Hungry. Get some depth. Get some pass rush depth in free agency as well. And then draft a couple building blocks as you need to, but go BPA. Don't go chasing defense just because. Because then you end up with a bunch of Troy Prides, Kenny Robinsons, Brandon Smiths, guys that ain't going to help you contribute right away anyway. But we need to do something to kind of jumpstart this defense quick. So I say spend that money in free agency on defense, get you a couple of building blocks in the draft, but you need to rethink the identity of this team defense. It's just bad, man, and it's unacceptable. I'm tired of it, yo. I'm tired. But I appreciate that super chat, man. Please give the video a thumbs up if you have not. Give the video a thumbs up if you have not. Like I said, Navash, I'm going to come to your other super chat about the offense when we get to the offense. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage on super chat. So shout out to Cajun Luke, Mr. for being a fan since day one. I'm a real one, been putting up with this foolery for 3 decades. Signed 2 free agent linebackers and a free safety. I think we need a linebacker too, quiet as kept. But we're going to save that for the post-season breakdowns. I think we do need linebackers. Bigger ones. With more speed. We need more speed. We're slow. We're not tough enough. We need more. We need more. We need more. And here y'all go, man. He said, don't want to hear about the defense. All y'all wanted to get Bryce blew up the defense. We did not blow up the defense, man. Why do y'all keep talking about us blowing up the defense? We didn't blow up the defense. We didn't blow it up. Frankie Louvu, we made him an offer. We tried to keep Frankie. Frankie didn't want to play in this system. That's the problem. We don't know how to deploy guys like Frankie Louvu or Jeremy Chin. And they go up to Washington and start making plays. That's the problem. You have versatile pieces that you're not deploying correctly. And now look at the Commanders. That's the problem with the system. But Frankie Louvu wanted out of here. Jeremy Chin was a glorified personal protector on the punt team. He got out of here. Dante Jackson, he was going to be cut anyway. He was way too expensive for what he was giving us. So they were going to get rid of him. Burns, they wanted to sign him. They were just way too apart on the contract. And they couldn't wait on him to get their things going with free agency. So they moved on. They were trying to get a deal done. Dan Morgan said that. They also tried to go after Patrick Queen. And that was going to cost some money as well. It's not like they didn't try to get this defense built up. So quit trying to say that we sacrificed defense to go offense. That's not what happened. Because Von Bell, he still had 2 years left on his deal too. From what I'm understanding, he didn't show up in shape. According to what Adam Thielen kind of hinted at, he didn't show up in shape. He wasn't really down with the rebuild or whatever. They got him up out of here. These aren't moves saying that we blew it up. No, we tried. They tried. Patrick Queen was not going to be cheap. They tried. Frankie Louvu was not that cheap. They offered him more money. They tried. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. They didn't blow it up. They didn't blow it up. Yeah, YGM, like, dude, these people, it's not like they didn't try to get good players. People just didn't want to play with us. Frankie left. We offered him more money. He left. My guy Low, what up, though? But yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I could whine and complain about this defense for the whole show, but we got other stuff to talk about. So let's move on to the offense, man. No, we don't have Brandon Smith. I don't even know what Brandon Smith is. He's a family man right now. That's the crazy part about it. I don't even think Brandon Smith is still in the league. He was with Philly, I think. Is he in the league anymore? Oh, look, the Hawks won again. Actually, matter of fact, pit stop. Before we talk about it, let's talk about special teams. Because somebody else who may be on the hot seat is Tracy Smith. What's going on with the special teams, man? What's going on with the special teams? Block punt today. Gave up some returns throughout the year. Eddie Pinheiro can barely get it into the landing zone anymore. 53-yard field goal, wide left. It's not a good look for the special teams right now. Johnny Hekker, he'll boot it ever so often, but he's not consistently putting that ball deep like he used to. And he's one of the best punters of all time, if not the best. I love Johnny. He get when you're in a certain territory, he can pin it. He's got the accuracy. He's got the touch. But he ain't flipping the field. He ain't flipping the field consistently like he used to. So they may be taking a look at the special teams. Blackshear was a top return man last year, and I know they changed the rules, but we haven't really been getting much from that. Haven't been getting much from the punt return game as well. But Eddie Pinheiro, man. And from what I hear, of course, Eddie Pinheiro is hurt. And shout out to Tunes on Strings. I see your super chat. I'm going to get you up there in a second. I'm going to get you up on the screen in a second. But Eddie Pinheiro, man. I understand. If you hurt, okay. But we haven't been able to trust Eddie when he was healthy, especially from 53 yards. And I know it was a long shot, but that was a great drive to get us in the field goal range. Bryce and Thielen doing their thing, getting us into that position for a field goal that, had we made that, it would have been a 10-point game going into the half. We actually, as bad as the defense has been, and bad as the half would have been, it would have been a 10-point game with us getting the ball in the third quarter with the offense doing some pretty good things. You're not in terrible shape. Now, I know it's still going to be an uphill climb because our defense is horrific. But just thinking about the timing of the game, we wouldn't have been in bad shape at that point. We wouldn't have been in bad shape at that point. But as usual, when things actually matter and count, Eddie doesn't come through for us, man. He doesn't come through for us, man. And like I said, he may be injured, and somebody said it. Eddie's been hurt for a while. The groin, I think he hurt his groin last year and earlier this year. Somebody was telling me that he'd get his knee drained. I don't know the validity of that per se, because has he popped up on the injury report? I feel like that's something that by NFL rules should pop up on the injury report, especially with fantasy football and sports betting. I feel like that's something that should be disclosed. If he's that hurt, something should be reported. That's just me in terms of just the integrity of the game. And I say that as a sports bettor, because if he's going to be hurt every week, let me take his under. I got to start taking Eddie Pinheiro's under. I got to start putting him on the parlays and the prize pick slips and the underdog slips. I got to. But it seems like ever since he got that title of most accurate kicker in NFL history, it's been even worse than usual. It's been worse than usual. And it's really embarrassing, man. Because it's not just him. It's the kickoff team. It's the kickoff coverage at times. We can't get in the landing zone. We're not getting any kind of decent returns. A block punt today, return for a touchdown. It's bad, man. It's bad. It's bad. Let me get into the super chats, man. Shout out Knucklehead Cat on super chat. Said they got you sound like Morgan Whalen. I'm tired of it. Bro, I'm tired, bro. I'm sick and tired, man. It's getting old, man. And like I said, there's people that want to run it back with this defensive system. I can't, man. I can't. Shout out to Tunes on Strings. Said 300 plus yards, 27 points in one half. A decent DC could do better with the Mickey Mouse Club. Hey, man. You right, though, because them numbers are nasty. Literally, I've seen more resistance from a wet piece of toilet paper. This defense is horrible. Horrible. 300 points and a half. 300 yards and a half. Nasty. Mr. Elevation says, appreciate that. Gotta clap it up. So the defense nor offense has identity. No one on the team scares other teams. You're right. We need difference makers. This is why I'm saying in the draft, we can go BPA. We shouldn't be locked in on just going defense. We need to see what's on the board and get a difference and get some difference makers. We're going to be picking high enough. Let's get a difference maker. I still ain't forgot about you, Nervaj. Win or lose, they get paid. I like Salah, bro. Him and Canales got some history. But let's talk about offense, man. Let's start with the people's champ. Bryce Young. Bryce Young, 15 for 28, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked 5 times. Hey, man, that opening drive was surgical. Hey, after we gave up that touchdown quick, but the way Bryce was pushing the ball down the field in that first drive, 3 for 3, 63 yards and a touchdown on the opening drive, I was like, okay, old-fashioned shootout. I'm like, let's do it. Old-fashioned shootout. I said, I'm here for it. It's not the game I expected, but I'll take it. I said, I'll take it. But then, because we have no Chuba, Dave Canales went back to them old ways, man. He went back to them old ways. He forgot to run the ball. We didn't even try to run the ball anymore. He's got to get more disciplined as a play caller and a coach, bro. And the thing is, I hear the game flow thing. I understand where people are coming from. The fact that you know the defense is bad, that you feel like you have to throw. I could argue the fact that the defense is bad tells me that you have to run the ball. The fact that we did not even attempt to run the ball, partially because it was unsuccessful and we didn't have Chuba, of course, big difference. But also, I think the fact that we had that early success, it made Canales fall in love with it. It made him fall in love with it. And that's why it felt like so much in this game. I tweeted it out. I was like, wait, it's only the third quarter? Yes, because when you continuously drop back the pass, you're stopping the clock, your defense is not getting any rest. You're not helping, you're not protecting a horrible defense. Running the ball and manufacturing some type of running game is going to help that. It's going to help that horrible defense. It is. It's going to keep them off the field. So you at least have to try. Try. There was after that first opening drive, it was 6 straight passes after that. And I understand like Bryce checks in and out of some of these plays, so he gets 2 plays and he checks based on what the defense is showing. But if you're gonna say we're gonna be stubborn with the run, let's be stubborn. Because we didn't even try for that little stretch, and that's when it really got out of hand. And the fact that we were able to stop them in the red zone, that was when the defense was teetering. The fact that they actually got some stops to hold them to field goals was the time in the game was teetering. It was like the defense, they're building a little bit of confidence, but if they have to go right back out there, they don't have the gas to be able to guard this team the full field. You could tell. And it played right into the hands. The Bucs ran 28 more plays than the Panthers because we couldn't sustain drives. We weren't chewing up clock. 28 more plays is crazy. That's at least 3 drives worth of plays. At least. So you have to do your thing to protect them, man. You have to. Like I said, I think the running the ball after a certain point when we get to a certain hole, yeah, you can't run. But still, man, like you're not doing your offensive line any favors. You're not doing Bryce any favors when you continue to drop back down after down after down, 5 sacks because they know they're teeing off on you. They're teeing off. But I really hope people are going to see how valuable Chuba Hubbard is. Because there were some people that were mad about the contract. They don't like paying running backs. They think anybody can do what running backs do. You can find running backs anywhere. I hope you see how valuable Chuba Hubbard is to this offense and to this team. I hope you see that now. For any of the naysayers, I hope you see it now. I do. But the game just seemed to drag on and on and on because we would not even try to run the ball to chew up clock. The Panthers had 18 minutes, a little under 19, time of possession. Out of a 60-minute ball game, they had the ball less than a third of it. Unheard of. Unheard of. Unheard of. And they just teed off. You allowed them to dictate the game. And according to Next Gen Stats, on the 28 dropbacks, Bryce Young was pressured on 68%. You can just draw up blitzes, draw up rushes. Guys can tee off when they know you're just going to continue to drop back. They don't have to worry about the run. And like I said, I understand you don't have Chuba, but you have to at least keep them honest. Keep them honest by handing the ball off. Keep them honest. Just pressure left and right. The field was just wet. The grass was long, I guess, and nobody had long enough spikes. Bryce Young was slipping in his drops. That back foot was hitting the ground and slipping. It was just not overall a good offensive day Like I said, we started hot. The first half was actually decent overall. If you're looking at the numbers. I mean, I thought Bryce Young started off amazing. Him and Adam Thielen, Adam Thielen had 100 yards in the first half. Bryce Young looked in command, under control. He didn't scramble today, but he was moving around in the pocket. He threw on the run. There was the naysayers that swear he can't throw more than 30 yards downfield. He smacked y'all in the face twice with some passes today. He had something for y'all. All the naysayers, you got to come to the front of the congregation. He had some today. Him and Thielen was doing that thing. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. Y'all, the naysayers, y'all argument looking real shaky, man. Bryce continues to show y'all that y'all looking shaky, man. Y'all looking shaky. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all have to start being real with y'all self. Be honest with yourself, man. Be honest with yourself. But I thought Bryce was, despite the circumstances, I thought it was okay. I thought he played another solid game, stacking another solid performance. But Thielen did his thing. People wanted Thielen up out of here. The old man cooking, bro. The old man is cooking. But let's talk about the elephant. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, man. Let's talk about XL, man. Our rookie first round draft pick, Xavier Legette. Shout out to Nirvash on Super Chat. Said, I've run out of patience with Legette. Way too many drops. Happens every game he plays. Imagine if we got McConkey instead. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, man. And let me preface this by saying that Xavier Legette is my guy. I'm a big Legette fan. Y'all know I like the Gamecocks, but my motivation for liking Legette isn't because of that. I liked him coming out of the draft. I understood why they went with him coming out. I'm still hopeful for him. I'm not writing him off. But we have to talk about the struggles. We have to talk about the struggles. And I'm going to get to y'all super chat as well. Kyle and George, I'm going to get to y'all super chat. We have to talk about Xavier Legette's struggles. He came back from his injury today and played. He had a healthy amount of targets. But the drops are becoming a concern for sure. Ever since that Saints game where he hurt that wrist, he was like, he had some catches before, but he was body catching, not always using his hands. But the drops are becoming concerning. Now that Saints game, he hurt that wrist. And then he had that deep ball that he got his lunch money took from the corner. But ever since then, and then the Eagles game, I think the circumstances and the stage and the opportunity that was in front of us that he missed when he dropped that pass, I think that really, really put him out of favor with everybody. Everybody. Now, is the wrist injury a reason why he's dropping passes? Probably partially. Isn't an excuse? No. Because according to him, that wrist has been hurt since 2021. So the resume that he used to build up for us to draft him was done with the hurt wrist. Did he make it worse in that Saints game? Probably. Has he been playing through it? Yes. He said it's not an excuse either. But the fact that it's been brought up, you know what's in his head. And as a former running back who played wide receiver before that, I'm here to tell you that I wasn't a natural pass catcher. Xavier Legette is not a natural pass catcher. He doesn't have natural hands, which is fine. You can get better at your hands. You can improve them. You can work on them. It's like a thing, if you work on it, you'll get better. But when you have the dropsies, it gets in your head so bad. You start thinking about it because you're so desperate to make the next play. If your wrist is hurting, you're thinking about that. Like, how do I compensate for my wrist being hurt so I don't drop another one? If you're thinking about dropping it, instead of thinking about catching it, you're going to drop passes. You're thinking about not messing up. You're going to mistime your jumps. You're going to overthink everything else. Because I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The brother is getting open. Because he wouldn't be getting the ball if he wasn't open. Let's do that. He wouldn't be getting the ball if he wasn't open. The questions about Legette was coming out was his ability to separate sometimes, his ability to get off a press. We've seen him get better in those areas. So that's why I'm not going to really just completely cast him away, because he's gotten better at some of his weaknesses. We see him putting in the work in the offseason, doing the drills. Even after he had an injury in minicamp, we saw him a couple of days later on his own doing workouts. He's hard-headed with his work ethic. If you're sitting out of practice because you got a hurt leg, but you're doing work on your own, that's a little irresponsible. But I understand that you have that work ethic. So I'm not going to question him putting in work, because I've seen the progress in the areas that he was weak in. Because the drops really didn't come up in college like that. The drops really weren't an issue like that in college. This is new. But like I said, he's getting open. If he wasn't getting open and he was just out there getting cardio like we used to see from Jonathan Mingo, I'd feel a little bit worse. But the fact that he's getting open, he's getting looks, he's just not securing passes, lets me know that he's in his head. The confidence is shot, and he has to work it up. Clearly, the confidence from Bryce Young ain't lost, because Bryce Young is still throwing him the ball. Bryce Young ain't lost confidence. He's still throwing him the pill. The coaches are giving him opportunities. They haven't lost confidence. They're still putting him out there. He has to believe in himself. I think he makes one nice deep play down the field, or a jump ball, or a snag one-on-one, and I think it gets him back right. There's work to be done in the offseason still, obviously getting the wrist healthy and then getting on the jugs machine and working on catching with his hands instead of bodying so much. But I think he's 1,000% in his head. 1,000% in his head. And once you have one, that junk is contagious. That drop is contagious. He's going to have to make some kind of play to get his confidence back up. I think that Eagles play was just detrimental for his confidence. Now he's second-guessing everything. So I'm rooting for the dude. I'm not going to throw it out. I'm not going to throw him out. We continue to be harsh on these rookies. And yes, we got to call out bad play when it happens. But I'm not going to call him a bust. I wanted Ladd McConkey. I was a big Ladd McConkey guy. I did it. I talked about him on this channel. A lot of people clowned and laughed. But I'm not going to say, oh, we should have drafted Ladd McConkey. It would have been nice to have Ladd McConkey. Hell yeah. But they're two different types of receivers. I'm not sure they were looking for Ladd McConkey in this system. You don't know what the coaches were looking for. But we saw Legette making plays in the red zone, catching jump balls in the red zone, getting touchdowns earlier in the year. He's going to put in the work this offseason. I think he's going to be fine. We wrote off Chuba Hubbard because of the drops and the balance. Not we, y'all wrote off Chuba Hubbard because of the balance and the drops and stuff in his rookie year, and because y'all don't like Matt Rule and his wife told him to draft Chuba. Chuba's our RB1. Obviously, he's hurt now, so he's not going to finish top 5 in rushing, but he's going to be top 10 rushing yards before the year is over with. Derrick Brown. He didn't live up to the snuff of what y'all wanted him to be. Matt Rule even benched him at one point. And now he's top 10 in his position. People were saying we should have drafted Isaiah Simmons instead of Derrick Brown. They wrote him off. They wrote him off. Even Bryce Young. And people still dug in on Bryce Young. Give him time. Give him time. Yes, exactly. They wanted Derrick Brown out the paint. They wanted him cut. They said we should have drafted Isaiah Simmons. Isaiah Simmons, guys. Come on, man. Come on. Bro, yeah. Isaiah Simmons. Mr. Luke, you know what time. You know the Isaiah Simmons thing. We ain't letting them forget about Isaiah Simmons. We ain't letting them forget about how they was treating Derrick. They wanted Isaiah Simmons. I think XL will be fine, man. And even if he ain't, this ain't the time to throw him overboard. This ain't the time to throw him overboard. Shout out to Kyle Sitters on the super chat. So I got a bad feeling that Canales is on a timer because he's not cut out for game planning and play calling. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not going. I think it's time. I think it's some time on task. I think it's going to take some time on task for Canales, man. I don't see or feel he's the type of guy that's going to be like stuck in his ways like Matt Rule. I feel like in the offseason he'll probably self-scout, have some honest conversations with himself and the staff, and figure out what he wants to do better going forward. I don't think he's hard-headed like that. I don't think he's Matt Rule. It was his way, not his way or the highway, but he felt like he thought even if things weren't going good, he felt like his plan was going to work and it was working even though we couldn't see it. Remember he said that? He said the hard part is I know my plan is working. You just can't see it. I don't think Canales is one of them type of hard-head guy. I think he's going to self-assess and do what he can. I think as we get better personnel and the team starts to become better overall talent-wise, I think we'll see him grow. This is a growing experience for him. Play calling, running a team, being a leader of men, it's a new experience. So I think we got to give him time to. Clearly, like I said, he hasn't aged like a banana or a president. So I think he's shown enough that I think he's worth being patient with. Obviously, it's every day. You gotta earn your job every day. But I think he's done enough. Clearly, he's done enough to come back next year. I think that's not even a question. But it feels like he's starting to make strides and grow. It's going to be a process for him as well. And we can criticize him too, of course. But I think it's going to be a process for him as well. I think it's actually worth having patience for him. George Tillers, appreciate you on the super chat. Said Canales' mindset is still an OC, not a head coach yet. He needs to learn how to balance the gameplay on both sides. Also, Adams last year as a Panther. I'll answer the second part first. Adam Thielen has one more year left on his contract. He signed a 3-year deal last year. So this is year 2. He has one more year. And I hope he sees it through. Because Adam Thielen, bro, he be doing his thing, man. He be doing this thing, man. So shout out to Thielen, man. Big AT. Big AT doing this thing. Holding it down. OG triple OG. OG triple OG. But Canals mindset to the OC. Yeah, and I agree. I think it's gonna be, you gotta start thinking big picture and wholesale. I think he does. I think he does think that, but he just needs to learn a little bit more. Like, I mean, I don't know. He has to start assessing what he has on the team, not just thinking football in general, but thinking specifically. Your defense is bad. Run the ball. You have a good offensive line. Run the ball. Yeah, I know it's a shootout. You're down. You feel like you have to score every possession, but run the ball. It's going to help everything. It's going to help Bryce. It's going to help the play action. It's going to help the offensive line. Run the ball. It makes everything better. Just run it. It protects that sorry defense. Run the ball. Just do it. Just do it. Run it. Shout out to Mr. Luke Cage on Super Chat. So we're going to bully XL until he plays good consistently, just like we did Chuba and Bryce. Coon Meat 2025. Hey, man. Bullying, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because Eddie Pinero, man, it ain't work for him. Ike Ekwonu, it may be working a little bit. It may be. Bryce, Chuba, it was always too harsh. I don't think Chuba needed bullying. I think people just didn't like Chuba because of what he stood for. His affiliation with Matt Rule. He was in the doghouse for unfair reasons. He always had that work ethic. He just never really got a full-time shot. But y'all can take credit for Bryce. I also think it was circumstances as well because of coaching. But Excel got to get it together, man. He got to get better. He got to get it together. I have confidence. He got the work ethic. I think he's wired the right way. We see it when you have dudes that are wired the right way that's going to put in the work. It usually works out for those guys. Like I said, look at Chuba. He's made of the right stuff. Not scared of hard work. Shout out to Nirvaj on a super chat. Say, do you think they actually draft Ted McMillan or Luther Burden with the top 10 pick in 2025? Our second rounder is going to be pretty low, too. That's a good question because the Rams, once upon a time, we would have had a top 5 second round pick. The Rams that turn things around, man, they about to win. They're going to win a division. They're going to win a division. And you pick in the teens, late teens, when you win a division. So they're going to be doing that in the second round. That's the pick we traded for. Yeah, I think I wouldn't close the door on anybody, particularly Ted McMillan. I wouldn't draft Luther Burden top 10 personally, but I would draft Ted McMillan if he's available. I wouldn't be close. I think BPA is the way to go. I think just because our offense isn't god awful like it used to be, I think people are too content. Y'all can't be beating up Xavier Legette, but at the same time think that we just okay at wide receiver. Could you potentially trade for somebody? Yeah, but how likely does that happen? How often do we trade for these big-time wide receivers? It could happen. Maybe DK Metcalf, his history with Dave Canales, he seems to be blowing up on the sidelines in Seattle. Maybe DK Metcalf becomes available and we make a trade for him. Maybe they go after T. Higgins. Maybe Garrett Wilson, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, they go get him. But the competition is going to be crazy. The draft capital is probably going to be crazy. I personally think that the most cost efficient and smartest way to do it would probably be going with Ted McMillan in the draft. Personally, he's 6'5". I think he fit. I think they would like him. I think he would fit the system. I think he brings red zone value as well. Underrated after the catch. We need difference makers. We need difference makers. And so Ted McMillan or Luther Burden could be a difference maker depending on where we end up in the draft. But we need difference makers, man. So I don't think we can be close to anybody. We need difference makers on any side of the ball. Yeah, I'm not big on DK either, but maybe they, like I said, the history with Canales, maybe they take a risk. They had to take a risk on Deontay. That's the type of risk you have to take as a team. I told you guys about volunteers or hostages. Volunteers are hostage. You take a hostage by drafting them or trading for them. Volunteers, you pay them on the open market. I don't see us winning a bidding war. The Patriots, they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money. They need receivers for Drake May. They could go Travis Hunter instead, or they could go Travis Hunter and T. Higgins. They got the bread. They got the bread. I don't know what the asking price would be to trade for a DK or a Wilson. But if it's going to cost the first, especially this year, I would not do it. But I think Ted McMillan is a high ceiling guy. He's obviously will be on a rookie contract. He would be a draft pick. He would open things up for everybody else because he's that big of a guy. He's 6'5", 210. He's got a T. Higgins / AJ Green arch type. I think he has better yards after catch than both of those guys. But that's the body type you're thinking about. That's what I think. But I appreciate the super chat. But a lot of people think that we was tanking because Taylor Moton didn't play. J.C. Horn didn't play today. Chuba's out for the year. We were thin. But receivers are such a commodity, man. Maybe people go to the draft. This year is not as deep at draft. So the price for trading for a wide receiver may be a little bit overpriced. I don't want to give up no first, maybe a second. If you give up that late second, maybe you feel okay about Garrett Wilson then. I would probably do that. It's going to be a late second. And then you can draft defense or BPA anyway. Yeah, Josie Jewell was out. You're right. It was bad, man. It was bad. So we wanted the Bucs in the playoffs instead of the Falcons. Not like this, though, bro. Not like this. Not like this, man. I didn't want it to happen like this. I didn't want I don't like the Falcons either, and I'm going to the game next week. So I want to win then, but like I did not want to lose today like this, bro. Not like this. This is embarrassing. It was god awful. And by the beginning, early in the third quarter, it was unwatchable, man. And the thing about it is, since all the NFL games were spread out, it wasn't even a good game to watch, like to turn to. It wasn't that many good games really on today. It was agony. 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 Today was not a good day for football. The Bucs scored 7 out of 9 drives. One drive they took a knee. So 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 9. They were in the red zone. They probably could have scored if they wanted to, but they had mercy. Thank goodness. All right, guys, let me get up off here. Love y'all. This may be the last live stream you see from me with this backdrop, man. This may be the last one y'all see. UB headquarters will be relocated. I will be relocating. You say you're going to pass on the Falcons? I will be relocating. I'm UB headquarters is going to look a little different, man. It's going to look a little different. So y'all stay tuned. What I have in store, I'm working on building it out. By next week, I should be in my new layer. So y'all stay tuned, man. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate all the love and support, man. For real, for real. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all Christmas. Hope y'all got everything y'all wanted. Hopefully Santa visited y'all. You didn't get no cold. Yeah, I'm changing the location. I finally UB headquarters, the one I've been working on is finally in the works. I'm not leaving. I'm just saying this will be my live stream here. I'm changing offices. I'm changing offices. That's all it is. I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. It's FYI. I'm just it's gonna be a new backdrop. Okay. Don't be alarmed. Sorry if it came off unclear. Don't be alarmed. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm tired. I'm out of here, man. I told you the Panthers got me tired. I'm on here yawning. All right, man. Love y'all. Have a good night. Peace.